Bro, what is this production?
Oh!
Oh my god.
That nigga got his brain.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it.
Jake Paul has responded to the viral sparring and training footage of Gervonta Davis, and his reaction has sparked widespread discussion. The clip shows Davis looking sharper, faster, and more explosive than ever as he prepares for his next fight. Fans are buzzing about whether Tank is entering his prime, fueling anticipation for the showdown. Davis has built his reputation in the lighter weight divisions, typically fighting around 133 to 135 pounds and never officially weighing above 140 pounds in pro bouts. In contrast, Jake Paul is a natural cruiserweight, usually competing in the 200-pound range and recently weighing in at that weight. The significant weight difference, several classes, brings different dynamics to the fight, including advantages in durability, power, and leverage for the heavier fighter. It's less about skill alone and more about who can handle being hit and stay effective under the physical pressure.
Something else that's unfortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this because there's no way it's real. There's no way they're really gonna do that because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds, and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing, because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you can say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore.
Carmamel Moughton reflected on a sparring session with Davis when he was just 15 or 16. He recalls feeling nervous initially but noting that the exchange quickly became a strategic chess match. Davis wasn't trying to knock him out but was trading angles, rhythm, and timing. Moughton emphasized that Davis's strength was evident, but in terms of pure skill and quickness, they were evenly matched. He described the experience as fun, challenging, and a key learning moment in his development as a fighter.
What was it like when you sparred him? I know you sparred Tank early on. Yeah. What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me. Like, you coming out of it, what was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that. But we was going like, he was using the speed on me. Like, we was both like going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment like why he is who he is?
Yeah. I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm so like I got all this hype around me too.
Sean Porter defended Davis's decision to participate in an exhibition with Jake Paul, arguing that critics overlook the bigger picture. He pointed out that the fight is more about financial security for Davis and his family than legacy. Since it's an exhibition, the risks are limited by rules and safety measures, and the main goal is entertainment. Porter highlighted that fighters often need to seize opportunities that provide exposure and income, framing Tank's choice as a smart move to protect his future rather than a sellout.
They're trying to make it safer and, you know, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking like, I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, more of a difference.
Right.
There might be less hate on it, but at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of I'm a world champion without having to do something like this. Now, the issue for this that I have is you have a legitimate 135-pound champion fighter getting in the ring with a 190-pound guy, whatever it is that Jake Paul is at. So now we already let's really answer this thing.
Many believe that despite the hype, the size disparity makes this more of a spectacle than a fair or competitive boxing match. Promoters have implemented safety measures like a catch weight of 195 pounds, larger gloves, and treating the bout as an exhibition, acknowledging the risks involved. They argue that Davis's experience fighting elite champions will give him an edge, showcasing his ability to land clean punches and outmaneuver Jake despite the size gap. The fight is viewed as more about spectacle than pure competition.
Comment about it. My question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
You know?
Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that was actually getting.
That
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch to the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they can
very
get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah,
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
He's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person?
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. And he's so small. Wow. Great fighter.
Chael Sonnen criticized Jake Paul's shift in focus from fighting Anthony Joshua to facing Gervonta Davis, calling it a letdown. He argued that Davis lacks the promotional skills Paul has cultivated, relying more on his fighting ability than hype. Sonnen believes that without Paul's media savvy and narrative building, the event wouldn't generate the same interest. In his view, the fight's appeal heavily depends on Paul's promotional machine rather than just the fighter's skills.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Davis's perception of Jake Paul has evolved over time. Initially dismissive, calling Paul a loud attention seeker, Davis has gradually acknowledged Paul's work ethic, mental toughness, and commitment. While still not considering Paul a top-tier boxer, Davis has become more open to the idea of fighting him, partly due to Paul's rising public profile and drawing power. This shift reflects a recognition of Paul's growing legitimacy and marketability in boxing.
Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., it's a real fight. Yeah. Look, people keep talking about Jake Paul, well, he's not a real fighter, this and that. Well, he's fighting a real fighter now in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's going to be a good test for both guys. Obviously, Jake Paul, he's a masterclass promoter in what he does. He's been doing some great things. I mean, Mike Tyson, 60 million people. Fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who, when he trains, when he gets in shape, when he's focused, he will be dangerous for anybody. Look, Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So there's a lot of stories to come out from this, a lot of great stories for Jake Paul. So I just feel honored and proud that we can team up with MVP Promotions, with Jake Paul, and we can make Zurdo Ramirez with Torticos the mandatory. That's going to be a bloodbath in itself. So we're excited.
Optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna have to help you up.
We're gonna see about
it. Help you up.
We're gonna.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it.